Welcome to International School Times. Today we are with Recep Doymaz, who's the elementary school principal of Horizon Japan. Horizon is an accredited school, WASC CIS, as well as a IB continuum school. Not a lot of schools can say that. They also just celebrated their 20th anniversary. So welcome and thank you for joining us. Hello, we are with Recep Doymaz from Horizon International School, Japan, here with us in International School Times. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for inviting. Yeah.
Well, it's great to have you here. We are really excited to learn more about you and learning about your wonderful school. I would love to hear about your experience coming to Japan. And I mean, one of the interesting things is as foreigners coming here, as educators, we all have our own story, our own path. You're now principal of the elementary school at Horizon Japan. So, but you weren't always principal. You started as a teacher. So yes, so please share with us some of your story.
Yeah, sure. It might be a bit long story though, but feel free to cut. So whenever
you can always edit that in post production.
Yeah, let's get started then. My name is Recep Doymaz. I'm from Turkey, and I came to Japan 2006. And it's been a long journey for me, actually, because my education started when I was in high school. So I decided to be a teacher. I went to a science high school, which is kind of, you take the exams and then you are selected one of those schools, and everyone was, wanted to be an engineer or a lawyer, a doctor, really precious jobs. But when my teacher asked me, what do you want to be? I said, I want to be a teacher. And then she laughed at me. It was really a funny moment, but I really wanted to be a teacher. So I decided to go one of the prestigious universities in Turkey, which provides English education as well, because I wanted to go abroad. I wanted to be a teacher, gain some experience abroad as well. So then I got a physics degree. And after I graduated, most of my friends went to America, Canada and other countries to continue their, master's degrees. And I said, no, I don't want to continue that way. I want to be a teacher. Then I stayed a little longer, about 4 years in Turkey. Then, there was an opportunity. One of my friends, came over just a year before I came to Japan. And then he said, why don't you try Japan? That was the first time that I decided to think about Japan. Then I came here to learn Japanese, because that was the way that I could get my visa here. Then started at Horizon as a part-time teacher.
Part-time?
Yes, I was part-time science teacher at that time. And then I became full-time next year, then gave up the Japanese school. Over the years, I have done a lot of different positions, different jobs. I left Horizon only for 2 years and moved to Osaka. There was an opportunity to be a principal over there at another international school. Then I returned back to Yokohama campus again. Work in Sendai campus for about 4 years. And then the rest of the time I was in Yokohama campus. So you can imagine that, like, primary related, secondary related, all different positions I have done. Saturday school, coordinator, college counselor. I have done college counselor as well. Physics teachings, physics, science, all the age groups. It was a long journey, but I ended up as an administrator, which I'm not really fan of it. I'm looking forward to go back to teaching eggs.
You're a teacher at heart, and it's kind of interesting that you mentioned that from the beginning you were wanting to go abroad and be an international school teacher. I think that's not the case for most teachers. I think most teachers go into the profession. The first thing that they think about is local schools, thinking very much nationally. But Where do you think that passion to go international comes from?
Well, being a teacher, I think my environment affected me. So two of my brothers are teachers, their wives are teachers. So I am a teacher. So I became a teacher. So, but going abroad, I wanted to challenge myself actually because, yeah, there are lots of people, teaching in public schools in Turkey, but why not try to gain some extra, experience outside of Turkey because there are lots of different programs, different education systems, and trying that and finding the best one and actually bringing my experience to share with the other people abroad. That was another thing, helped me to think, okay, yeah, why not another country? When you graduate from a university that has English education, you think of the countries that has English spoken environment, right? So America, Canada, other countries. So most of my friends actually went those countries, but this wasn't my plan, to be honest. I'm thinking that it was a kind of like maybe, my path of life. So it just took me here in Japan. So I came here and I stuck here, I guess.
So you come here speaking Turkish and English.
That's right. Yeah.
Did you think that you would be able to use English here more? Were you surprised at the English level that you found in Japan? Did you start seeing a need for an international school where English is the base language?
That's a good question, actually, because I was thinking people can communicate in English more than what I've found, after I came to Japan, because, Japan is a, developed country. And then I was expecting more people speaking in English, but it turned out that, yeah, at school, you can survive with English, but outside of school, in the real life, people do understand English, but it is hard for many people to speak or communicate in English. That was a kind of like surprise for me as well, but it also helped me to learn Japanese. It encouraged me to push myself to learn Japanese and be part of the community. To be part of the community, I had to learn Japanese, so that helped me as well.
Well, I believe you also met your wife here, correct?
That's right. We met here. That's a kind of a nice story as well because we graduated from the same university in Turkey, but we didn't meet. So about 3 years, we studied together at the same time in the university. Then she came 2-3 years before I came to Japan. I didn't know for sure, although my brother didn't believe in me. So when I said I'm gonna get married with someone that graduated from the same university, then my brother said, like, no, you went after her, right? Otherwise, why Japan? You didn't go to America, you didn't go to Canada or England, you went to Japan. So that was the reason. I said no, to be honest. We didn't know each other, but we met at Horizon. So then after a short dating, so we decided, she's from Turkey and we have 2 children now. They were born in Japan and they are going to Horizon as well. So I'm really happy that it was a chance that we met here in Japan.
And that's wonderful. And I had the chance of meeting your wife and working with her years ago.
That's right.
And you're a very fortunate person, and happy belated Mother's Day.
That's right. Yeah.
And that's a great transition to talking about Horizon. I mean, you found your love in teaching. You also found your love of your life there as well. So Horizon is quite an interesting school, and one of the reasons why I was quite excited about having this conversation with you. But believe the school has just celebrated its 20th anniversary.
Yes. We have celebrated 20 years. It's founded in 2003. When I came in 2006, the highest grade was grade 3. At the beginning, I think a mixture of different age group were enrolled. Then they decided to go with only step by step growing slowly and nicely. And the grade 3 was the highest, and we didn't enroll students from upper grades. then, I had a chance to witness the growth of Horizon, actually, because it was a very small school and small number of people, financially challenging, being, a foreigner in Japan and trying to set a good school in Japan, especially international school, is not easy. There are lots of international schools around, but considering that like early learning, primary school, middle school, and high school, all set schools are very few. I think there are 3 big schools in Yokohama area. Considering that it's not easy, but looking back, last 20 years, and at the level that the school came, it's a big, big, big success, I think.
I think you hit on the right chord there. I think one of the interesting things about the school is that if I had to think of an international school that has come about in the last 20 years and has grown and successfully to create a middle school and then a high school and being accredited. I mean, your school has all of them, which we can get into that in just a bit. I honestly find it very difficult to think of any others. Recently, there's a few British schools that have opened, but in the last 20 years, I think Horizon really seems to shine as a success story, as a school that started very small, as there are very many small schools here that start with grade 1 and grade 2 and grade 3 and try to build. But often they falter. They hit incredible challenges. I know that Horizon and you being part of that journey for so long, you must have seen them. There must have been some strong headwinds as well. But the accomplishment of what your school has been able to do and the community that you built over the years, I think it's quite extraordinary. I think what I'd like to know, and I'm sure a lot of people would, is how did that come about? I'm sure it wasn't always obvious that the goal or the point that you are at right now was going to be achievable or 100% achievable. I'm sure there must have been doubts at times. Yes, please just walk us through some of that journey from the start, where you were a very small school to what you've become now.
That's right. Actually, it's a big success, but there are a lot of challenges behind this success, and there are a lot of achievements behind it. And as I said, like I witnessed most of them. The time that I came, it was very small, and then we didn't really imagine that this school will come to this point. Maybe founders have some thoughts about it, but maybe most probably they didn't even think about that the school will be this successful level, like they will come in 20 years. I would say that the biggest thing behind it is the dedicated people, both, within this staff as well as the supporters and the whole community. We had really nice environment over there. When we had the WASC CIS visit, so one thing they told us that like you have amazing family-like environment.
Right.
And our question is, how can you keep it the same, when the school will grow up? So that was the biggest thing. So it was really nice and family-like environment. I think that made us to be successful. And considering that the dedicated people, staff like teachers, administrators, other people, so all contributed to the school, and then it became a good school. We started, like the school started as a small early learning center in the first campus area. You will probably say in Higashitaro, 15-20 minutes from Surumi Station. It wasn't a good location. It was like in a residential area. However, it was far from the station. Not easy to bring the children, and there were no parking lot for it's a small one. Then after 3 years, when I came in 2006, they moved to a new building, which is like 5 minutes walking distance where you work at as well. So it was closer to the main road. However, it was still not too big and far from the station. And in 2019, it's not that far. 2019, we moved to a beautiful location, amazing place, the location that the school is now, and students can walk from the station, from Yokohama station. It's amazing, isn't it? Without even, even if it's a rainy day, you don't have to carry an umbrella and go through the Bay Quarter area. So it's an amazing location. Okay. And then we feel that it's a kind of fortune to be there as well. So it's considered a school, 20 years, celebrating the 20 years, but coming to a location like that with 500 students and almost 100, staff members, it's amazing success. So I'm going to give you a little bit, the journey, more information about the journey that we went through. You can just add it wherever you like. So the education was like, we didn't really have a strong program when I came. So then we start searching about what is the best for our school, because the school started, by business people. It wasn't the educators. It was business people. And then how it started is that the idea, you might be thinking why Turkish people are studying it, as international school in Japan. I mean, why Japan, right?
I think that would be the first question many people would ask.
Right.
And the second one would be, why not create a Turkish school?
Exactly.
For Turkish businessmen's kids can go in there and learn Turkish. There's certainly schools that are like that, but instead of a Turkish school, a decision was made to say, no, we're not going to create a Turkish school. We are going to create an international school, and it's not going to be Turkish. It's going to be English.
Exactly. I mean, I wasn't there at that time when they made this decision, but I heard a lot from the people who supported the school, who started the school. Most of them changed. Most of them not probably even part of the school, but the idea was behind this was the creating an environment school for those who are far from their country, but want to provide good education. Although they don't know the Japanese, they can survive in Japan and they can continue their future education for their child, right? For their children. So contribution of both Japanese business people and Turkish business people, some connections, and then they came up with an idea of like creating a school. And why not a Turkish schools? Because they didn't just aim to provide this school for the Turkish community. It would be a very limited because there are not many Turkish people around. And considering that's Rumi area, maybe it will be just few people, or there might be some people who might want to move to Rumi area, right? So it wouldn't be a really a big school. It would be a just limited number. So they wanted to give, I think, global education rather than just providing what we have back in Turkey. So this will allow their children to be part of the community and to grow and then help other people as well. So imagine that students who are graduating from our school will be going and then contributing to community wherever they will be. So to do that, they need English background. They need international education. They need global mindsetting. They need international mindedness. So it is not just, providing the education. It's providing a good education so that they can, be contributory when they grow up. So it started with a small number of people. Then they figure out that, okay, yeah, we can contribute more, and then more investors, more people came over. I think business people also contributed. First couple of years were challenging for the school, in terms of finding the best education program or financially being stable. Probably it took 5-10 years to settle down. So, but those challenges were not just to turn out. It helped the people to make the school even better. So I think that is what made this Horizon stronger. So Horizon looked at the challenges as a kind of improvements area. Okay, this is what we need to work on. Educational program. Okay, yes, Japanese society want something, and we also have international society. They also want something. So it should be something that meets everyone's needs, right? There are Turkish people, there are international people, there are Japanese people at the school. So let's find something that will make it better for, I mean, a good program for all the students. So we started searching a lot. So we hired some people as well, some consultants. And I remember one of vice principal who came from Australia. Yeah, he contributed a lot as well. So with this thing, so there were a couple of good programs out there. So we picked Cambridge program. It starts with Cambridge primary program. Then when we started middle school, it became Cambridge middle school program. Then IGCSE started for grade 9 and 10. And then we became a Cambridge school, a worldwide Cambridge school. And then we provided all the Cambridge programs, including the A levels. However, there was something that we were always thinking, okay, this is a good program, but it is more like content based, and there's a challenging exam. So is there any other program that might help, or even better, that helps students to develop some skills? Because, education is changing and people changing, future is changing. We never know what might happen. So we need to provide the best skills for the students to use so that they can use when they grow up. So then IB came up. That was the time that we decided to go with the IB DP program. We wanted to start with an easy program. One of the easiest part is DP, by the way, to implement.
I was going to say, because IB itself is not easy.
It is challenging program. It is very challenging program. And then we started with the DP program. I think it was 2012, if I'm not wrong. And then we got the PYP in 2016. And then NYP program as well. Then our school became Continuum School, which is few schools only in Japan providing Continuum program, which is PYP, NYP, and DP, all three programs. So that was the changing point in our school as well. So the number of students increased, the number of the quality of education, the environment changed a lot. And the quality of staff changed a lot as well. So lots of training sessions, lots of professional developments. I think that made our school what schools that we have right now.
So just to touch on some of the things that you shared, I'll get to the IB portion in just a bit. I think it's quite interesting.
That's right.
Especially because there's two things that occurred after you had the IB. One, you had the enrollment increase, but you also mentioned that the quality of the education and the training of the teachers increased as well. You also mentioned this kind of global mindedness.
That's right. Yeah.
And I thought that was interesting. And you've now been in Japan for, was it 17 years?
18
years?
Will be finishing soon.
And I think the question a lot of foreigners have, especially people working in international schools, is what is your experience in Japanese society's views of global mindedness? Is this something that is valued here in the society, at least to your opinion? Do you think that's why people want to go to international schools? And do you think it's growing? You think it's static? I think I've asked this to different people and I've gotten different answers. I'm just curious what your views are on it.
Well, I lived in Tokyo, Yokohama, Osaka area as well, and Sendai area. So I would say that my experience and also thoughts change when I met different people. So if you look at the Yokohama and Tokyo area, people are more open, or at least the people that we are interacting are more open, and they like more global education, international education, and having their children learn English. And because they know that in the future they will need it, and then they can go somewhere, or even if they won't go anywhere, the global is, the global becomes a unique society that everyone interacts each other easily, like online. And this, after this COVID, we realized that I think Japanese society also realized that it's getting a small village, So people are more open-minded here in Yokohama and Tokyo area, or at least people that we interact, as I said. But when I moved to other cities like Sendai area, there are not many people interested in English education or international education. Right. So, however, when you sit down and talk, most of the people believe that it is important. And considering they're giving more opportunity to their children, they consider it is necessary. However, there are some, constrictions, like restrictions. One of them is the mindset. I would say that. So mindset is the key point. I think that's gonna take some time to change people's mindset. So Japan is an island country, and then it's been long time that they just became a good country, and they don't need other people. They don't need, but recently they realized that no, it is necessary to interact people. It is necessary to, collaborate with other people. So with this, you need to know a language. So global language is English, and international language. And, that's really important. I think that is changing, and people, especially after COVID, I realize that many things are changing. It becomes digital. It becomes more, foreign friendly. But there's still time for rural area or small cities that people change their mindset. The other thing is that opportunities, there are lots of international schools in Yokohama, Tokyo area, but there are not many in Sendai or Aomori or, Tohoku area. Or if you go to Nagano area, it's very limited number of, schools over there. Will that worth to open more? Maybe, maybe not. But what I see is that Japanese education department, Japanese government is also investing. So they are in touch with the IB program, and they are trying to implement IB program in certain schools, and then trying to find out solution for certain challenges in Japanese education. So I think this is very, happy to see that. So every year it's growing. It's more people, more schools. Even if they provide Japanese education, they become an IB school, which is great because they know how to be open-minded. They gain IB attributes, like they like international-minded people. So I'm really happy to see the difference, to improvement, because it's been a long time, 2006, and now we are in 2024, over 18 years, big change. However, this change is slow. This is what I think. Right. The change should be a little bit faster. We had Olympics, we had, COVID situation went over. So I think this could be a little bit faster.
That's interesting. You bring COVID. I think, the natural next question is, and I think I'm always curious because every school's gone through that process differently. And of course, we could have the whole interview about how your students or your teachers and your parents had to adapt to the COVID time while they were there. But just for a bit, what was that like for you personally, for the school, for your community?
Well, COVID was challenging for everyone. Yes. Let's accept that. Not just schools, but also, any businesses. So there are lots of business shut down. And I think international schools got affected as well. So I know that some schools got smaller. They combined the classrooms. They had, they need to change the number of staff working there because financially was challenging. So some foreigners changed their country and other things. But I think Horizon went through this stage very well, and it was successful as well, because one thing is that we were ready. We didn't know that we were ready, but we were ready because we implemented, for example, we implemented iPads, like MacBooks at the school before COVID. Right. So all the students brought their
So
devices.
they had their
You know,
gadgets.
they
and their
knew that how
devices.
to use the, you know, if you ask a child right now, they know how to use a smartphone, iPad, MacBook very well, right? But if you go back, you know, 5, 10 years ago, it was challenging. Now you had to train the teachers, right? You had to train the students. You had to train everyone to make sure that you can implement properly. And most of the parents actually at that time, complain about having iPads. There are still some parents, they don't want iPads or MacBooks because they think that this is not the right way to educate the people because they are using those devices in different ways. That's not healthy. So we try to explain that having that device or implementing the technology is not bad. How to use it is bad. So if we guide the students, if we teach them what is the best way to do it, I think it will be successful. So we implemented before COVID. So when COVID hit, then people knew that like, okay, there is an opportunity. So we started just using Zoom channels or try different, versions and how can we make it more efficient for the schools. I was in Sendai campus at that time. It was, popular population of Sendai campus is mainly Japanese students. It affected less than Yokohama campus, to be honest. Then we started like implementing a different version of online education, distance learning, lots of softwares came out, some programs came out. So it helped us as well to implement certain programs. So I think we went through very well. So we didn't even think of like making some financial decisions, cut down the salaries or, cut down the number of people. So it really helped us. And I think the community believed in school as well. Our parents, we should appreciate that as well. So they believed in the school and they didn't change the school. Most of them stay where they are. And then that helped us to survive. And last year, it wasn't really COVID time for us. Like we didn't do anything. So we said, okay, just everything back to normal unless certain things happens, like some emergency cases happen. And this year, there's nothing actually we have done for COVID. It was really smooth year.
You mentioned the parents and how important parent support is for any school's success. I would say, and I don't think I'm exaggerating. I would say that Horizon was an underdog from the start. How has parents and the support you've gotten from parents over the years through everything from COVID, the earthquakes, how has the parent support, how has that been part of your success there?
Yeah, that's a good question because, we had lots of challenges over the years, one of them was the earthquake as well. Beginning of the time that I came, it was still young school, small number of people. And the biggest thing is to keep the students at the school. And then, Japanese people have different mind settings. So either they want native level English exposure when their child is young. So especially early learning center. So they send their child to international school. And then for primary, they go back to, because that few years they will help. If they want to learn English in the future, they will help them, right? Another type of parents, group of parents is that they keep their children until end of the primary, and then they go back to middle schools if they like Japanese environment. I think that is the good decision if they want Japanese education, okay, not international. But after middle school, it is not easy because the education, the background will not meet, right? So we had lots of up and downs in terms of number of students. So some parents were not staying. That was our biggest challenge. We had really, really good parents, good students, genius type students as well. When I was teaching science in the old campus. However, they didn't know what's going to happen when my child is going to be in middle school or high school, or most importantly, university. Right. Can Horizon students go to universities in Japan? can they go to universities in another country, America, Europe, Australia, Canada? Can they go? That was the biggest, concern. And that's why many parents changed the schools. Even if they love the school, they love the environment, they love the program, they love the teachers, everybody, even, like kids didn't want to go because their friends are there. And some of the students went together, like in a small group, to the other international schools. They have been here for a long time. And until we had the first graduate in 2012 and then went to the university successfully, no problem. Then parents start thinking, oh yeah, there's something good happening at this school. So Horizon students can go to universities. And then, we had another student graduated, went to the American university. And Horizon students can go to American universities as well. Then it started increasing, the number of graduates increasing. That made the parents believe in the school more. So that was a number one turning point, let's say.
Those first pioneering parents.
Who I appreciate them. They were amazing,
They are amazing because they are the ones that truly have to believe something that they don't even see yet, something that's not even tangible, something that you can't even prove. Because at the end of the day, a lot of schools, sometimes it's a lot of rhetoric, a lot of words, but where are your graduates? So in this case, seeing those first pioneering parents have their kids go to those higher level schools make all the difference.
I think that's something that schools appreciate. That I personally in touch with some of the students, or maybe most of the students who graduated early years, and then those parents as well. So sometimes we see each other outside of school as well. So amazing people, and they contribute to school because they believe in the school. Imagine that you have money, you can send it to the other international school. Why Horizon, right? And they don't even have graduates, but they believe in the school. They believe in the school environment school will be successful. And kids also did a really good job as well.
So talking about that decision, because you bring up the fact that they could have picked any school. Why pick Horizon? If a parent wishes to go, or what is something that you would want them to know about your school? Philosophy, environment, warning. Doesn't matter what it is though. What's something that you think parents should know before they apply, so that they get a really good feel for what to expect?
That's right. I mean, that's also a good question, because when you look at the other international schools, when you want to send your child to an international school or different school other than the public school, so you write down the things that are important for you, right? Good education, good English level and so on. And then when you look at the international schools, good international schools around, and you will see that most of them have certain standards, right? And, pretty much they are similar. So those are not the things that will make your mind to send your child to that school, because it's pretty much the same in the other school as well. However, when you look at your child's face, is smiling, happy every day, going to school with a happy face, coming home and then sharing a lot of, good stories, good memories, then you can say that, okay, this school is good for my child, because, you can gain, good education, good, curriculum expectation in other schools as well. But that is, I think, a good decision time for a parent to make. And, it's in Japanese, it's called kuchikomi, word of mouth. It's also very important in Japan. So no matter,
Reputation is king here, right?
It is. How much do you advertise your school, what your friend is saying about that, or what a parent who has been going to that school is saying about the school is important, more important than the other things written there. So I think that also help us to grow our community as well. So people are happy, a family-like environment. And even if we move to new campus now, more people, excluding the COVID time, it was really challenging, stressful environment for everyone. And still we had a good job over there. But, right now, if you go to school, most of the people are happy face going home, and then lots of good stories, good memories. You cannot make 100% everyone happy, but it is majority that you can feel that atmosphere. You know, remember that those times that we were working, we knew everyone because it's a small community, not just the teachers, but we knew the students. Every single student, like EYP students, ELC students, as well as like the high school students. It's the small community and parents and teachers that created a kind of like family-like environment, I think. But, talking about the challenges, another one was the earthquake, I guess, the biggest earthquake. I was here in Yokohama campus that affected most of the international schools. In one day, like foreigners left the country.
Right.
Most of the foreigners, not everyone for sure, but this means as an international school, majority of your population are gone. So you have to be financially stable. So you need to find a way to survive. Luckily, our school didn't get affected as much as the other schools because our school was small at that time, right? It wasn't a huge school. It have affected still a lot, but we survived during that time as well. Some of the teachers didn't leave the country. Some of them didn't, because I know that like some of them scared, and then they took their families back and they didn't come back.
Yeah, there's some schools that had a exodus.
Exactly.
They would lose a quarter of their entire school population. Some of the teachers wouldn't come back after March. It was in March. School ends in June. Some of them did.
I mean, it was really scary.
It was time for everybody, and you can't blame anyone.
You can blame
because everyone.
That's right.
Made the choices that they thought was best for themselves and for
their family as well. It took a couple of years to go back to the routine again. So for us. Then, once we get the DP program, the number of students increased a lot. COVID was another challenge. So most of the schools affected, as I said, I think we did a good job and it went well during that time. It was mentally also exhausted for most of the students and the teachers. Imagine that you are stuck in a country that you can't go back for a couple of years for a foreigner teacher. So it's not easy. It's not easy. So we have done a lot of, support programs and came up with ideas like even small, but thought that it's good for the well-being as well, like for students and teachers. So we said, okay, Friday is free uniform day. Okay. Or, we developed some kind of like programs for teachers like, mentor-mentee program, community program like, once a month, like some kind of like activities with the whole community, whole staff, like, or whoever can, those kind of small things, but it helped the people as well to, to support them in terms of well-being and, psychologically.
It's, I still think, about your campus now and the way it was, before. Which campus in which campus when the earthquake hit?
We were in like the building that you work at. So I was there, and my classroom, like science lab, was on the first floor actually. So when it started shaking, so I just went outside, but I couldn't stand still on the playground. It was really, really challenging. So I had to sit down. But in one day, everything changed. You know that. So we had to check with the parents, dismiss all the students. I think at the time that I returned home was around midnight or something, and with some students going back to school, and some students stayed at school, some students stayed at teachers' houses. We couldn't reach the parents, we couldn't reach their homes because parents couldn't go back to the room, right? Their houses. So it was a really challenging time for everyone, but I'm glad that it's over now.
It's still fun just to remember that old campus, and now just extraordinary, the campus that you've built now. It's just very few schools are able to provide the location. I mean, one of the things that you were commenting how difficult it was at the beginning because of location, and now you are literally outside of Yokohama station in the middle of an area where people have probably highest demand for international school. Um, uh, all the moms and dads who drop off their
Exactly.
kids, they
And
all
they
go to
hang
the
out there.
Starbucks in
Bay Quarter.
Bay Quarters. That's right, and do some shopping there, and then you
Right.
go back and pick up their kids. I think your school is quite blessed in where it is now, and just hearing your story
Right.
of where you've been in all of the trials.
Mhm.
It's extraordinary, but it sounds like it's the people. And even though you didn't see where you would be now, it seems like the people that just stuck it out and the parent support, you are now a stronger school, amazing location. And
Exactly.
your school is very fortunate to have kept you even past your teaching years and
I'm glad to be there as
having
well.
you
Yeah.
as a principal as well.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's right. It's a nice location. I'm glad that we found this place because it took really long time. So after the DP program, the old campus were not enough for the students. So we couldn't find the rooms to teach the students. You know, the number of students were increasing rapidly, and then it became 2 classes per each grade. 3 classes. We started 3 classes because we went after we found this location. Actually, before this location, we found a couple of other school areas, but didn't go well. Then luckily, this location came out as a rental place. Then the land is rental and the building is made and by the school. So that's why it's a nice school environment over there. Although it's not a huge school, but I think it's satisfactory for the current number of people. And we are kind of feeling that, now it's getting smaller now. We need to find a better place. So yeah, who knows?
Is there something in the works that potentially the secondary school might be somewhere further?
I mean,
or is that just very early and these are just conversations
I think we started the conversation in terms of like finding like a little larger place or moving a part of the school somewhere, but there's nothing official, nothing that we start like officially. However, it is something that the board members are like thinking like, okay, now what about like moving the early learning somewhere close so that we can still have the connections, but or maybe in the future another place at a double school, not just moving part of the school, but having another school. Who knows? But there's nothing really just talk about like right now, any project.
Right. Well, I'm interested in the other Horizon schools as well. Now, if parents out there search Horizon International School, one of the things is you might find others in other places in the world, but you're not associated with Horizon schools outside of Japan, correct?
No. I got this question a lot actually. So there are lots of Horizon. If you type it, like there are lots of Horizon in other countries. And then are you connected?
It's a nice name.
It is nice name. I love the name. But we are Horizon Japan International School and not associated with any other schools except the ones in Japan. There are 3 campuses, 2 in Sendai and 1 here in Yokohama. And other than these 3, we don't have any other schools connected. However, we do have some, sister schools or exchange schools in Japan that we exchange ideas, organize some professional development activities, but those are not like financially connected or any other way that they are connected. So we have only 3 buildings, 2 in Sendai and 1 in Yokohama. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'd like to talk about one specifically because I find this is a very interesting one, and also one that you spent 4 years at. And maybe we can end there. The Sendai campus is different in a sense from the one that you are working at now in Yokohama. The one that you are working at now near Yokohama Station is your main campus, correct? And it's more of the traditional international school that I'm used to. Tell us about the Sendai campus and also your experience there.
Yep. Yeah. Sendai years were my favorite years, to be honest. Like I love Sendai and I'm a nature person. I love hiking, nature and stuff. So that's why those years were my favorite years. So I moved there, and worked there about 4 years. And it is a special school, and then I think that can be one of the ways that Japanese society can accept and can send their children there, because not everyone are happy with the international schools. They are, international schools are not meeting the mandatory education in Japan, right? Technically. So our Sendai campus were an opportunity. Another school like just wanted to sell the building, so then they reached us, and then we made some kind of visits, and then board members had some meetings and so on. And then we were thinking what might be the best education system that we can implement in Sendai. If it's going to be international school, there's only one international school. We were in touch and we had really good exchange activities together. So other than that, there's no. And then they have only limited number of people. I mean, students. So it is not somewhere that locals want to send their children to international education environment. So we thought, okay, so there should be a better way. Then after some research, then there's a kind of like a system came out, like the internet, Ichijoko. It's called Ichijoko, or in English, Article 1 school. It's pretty much a public school standards. However, it gives you some flexibility to implement your way into it. So you have to meet the public school standards, whatever the local government says.
And that's the curriculum, therefore. Is
everything. It's
so
not
Japanese curriculum.
Exactly. You have to meet with the curriculum standards. You have to meet with the science, classroom science, the land, everything. So it's not cheap. So you have to buy like a certain area and so on. Then, so we started this project. So, it started with early learning center as an international school over there. But for primary, we wanted to go with Ichijoko, Article 1. And one of the fellow members of Horizon. So we're kind of transferred to that campus, who's also very good at in Japanese as well, fluent in Japanese and good in education as well. So we worked there 4 years together. He was my principal. I was vice principal over there. We had a really good time together. So he really believed in that project as well. So we worked really hard. After 4 years, they allowed us to open that campus. So, the primary school, Ichijoko Article 1 school. However, it is one of the unique schools in Japan right now. There are lots of Ichijoko schools. Most of them are taught in Japanese, private schools with the government standards. You can open one and with some certain, the rules and regulations. However, if you want to implement something on top of what they ask you to do, it's not easy. So what we did is that there's a Japanese education and we have English education. On top of that, we implemented PYP education. So it is one of the unique schools in Japan with the PYP accreditation and English emerging environment. So there are two homeroom teachers. One is Japanese homeroom teacher. One is international homeroom teacher. So they teach together. It's not bilingual. We are not translating everything. It's not bilingual. It is English emerging environment. It's not international school either. So some certain subjects are taught in Japanese, certain subjects are taught in English, but everyone is trained IB system, IB education. And of course it was, challenging to fit in all, but we achieved that. It was really successful years. And I would suggest anyone who thinks this project, pay a visit to Sendai campus. You will be amazed with that. Yeah.
Oh, we hope that some of our parents will visit the campus and visit your campus also in Yokohama. I went to I believe it was the 20th anniversary International Food Fair Day.
It was amazing.
It was an amazing day.
Children's festival. Cultural festival.
The cultural festival, I think, really brings your school to light, and I think anyone who would visit your campus would be very impressed by that.
Definitely. I mean, we are open anytime, so either open houses or school events, like cultural festival, or 101. If anyone wants to come and then visit the school, we have a really good admission team over there. They will be happy to support and help.
No, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Recep Doymaz, principal of Horizon International School, elementary school. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for inviting.
Joining us, and
Yeah.
I look forward to speaking with you again at your next anniversary of school. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much for inviting.